What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy, Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. So, we're going to start one of my new favorite games, case or no case. Saw an article today about Luther Burden. He's the Missouri receiver. And there was an article said, should the Dolphins be in play for Luther Burden? And I said, this feels like a really good case for case or no case. First of all, Luther Burden, Missouri receiver. That means he plays in the SEC, and y'all already know how I feel about that. I think he's really good. He was actually better 2 years ago than he was last year. Some of that could be quarterback play, O-line play, harder schedule. He didn't sneak up on people this year. So when people game plan for you, typically they can kind of get you out of the game. But that's not important to this point. If you never watched him play, the closest player I can say he resembles to me is Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's a little bit taller, but I think it's just like he plays in the slot most of the time. Like, I think it said 85% of the time. It may be a little bit lower than that now, but he's mostly in the slot, which is great. But slot receivers usually have their combination of routes. He's very quick. He's strong after the catch. He's got a burst, but he's not the fastest guy in the world. But he can definitely he can house call it, right? He's got a lot of skills. He's a good. I think he's actually a little bit more physical of a runner than Amon-Ra is. Like Amon-Ra is slippery. like he'll be right in front of you. He'll just get open. Like he gets a lot of those receptions. Luther Burden is like trying to make some stuff happen after he catches the ball. So super talented guy. I believe he'll end up going in the first round. I'll be shocked if he falls to the second round because that means he would get past Buffalo, Kansas City, teams like that who don't have established like one receivers or that is kind of in flux. So I don't see him getting out of the first round no matter what. But can I make a case for him? No. I don't know what this article was talking about. I don't get any of this, right? We already have small receivers. I don't understand why you would add another small receiver, throw him in the slot. He's not better in the slot than Jalen Waddle was. He's not faster. Even if you think Tyreek's going to get traded, you don't replace him with this kind of player. You replace him with a receiver that can play on the outside. I don't understand what this is. It seemed like a clickbait thing. Maybe Luther Burden's people were like, hey, let's just put a little filler out to Miami just to kind of muddy the waters. Receivers like our seventh need. If we drafted a kicker before a receiver, I would actually I'd be fine with it. Like it's not it's not a thing that we really need a lot of. And what he does well, the team doesn't need. It's not like T-Mac is on the board, 6'5", 210-pound receiver. It's like, oh, okay. We don't have Nick Westbrook's kind of tall. He's 6'2", but 6'5", that can take the top off the defense, that may be worth considering. 5'11", 200 pounds, shifty slot receiver, don't need him. Don't understand it. Shout out to the writer of the article. I can make no case for this. So let's just say that one is case closed. Now, we've been talking about the free agent thing, and I mentioned yesterday about the comp pick for Calais Campbell and why we may not go after a defensive player or any player to replace him because you get presumably a fourth, fifth, maybe sixth round pick for him. And if anyone you get in a free agent now, it would be kind of a rental. So there's a report today by Barry Jackson that said he reached out personally to all the top free agents like Zadarius Smith, Linval Joseph, Justin Simmons, all the guys we've kind of talked about on the channel before already. And he said the Dolphins have not reached out to them. There's been no contact, which was shocking. I was like, what do you mean? It's like literally the Dolphins are basically like, hey, we're going to do our thing in the draft. If we can't get the guy we want in the draft, we pray you're still on the board, like just floating around, and we will circle back and maybe make an offer. But they are not reaching out to people. I thought maybe, we reached out to some of these guys, and they were like, we want 2-3 year extension. We want bigger contracts. No, we just didn't pick up the phone. We just said, hey, we got 10 picks or 9 picks, and we're going to figure it out in the draft, which is bold. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's a wild approach. It's the one thing to be like, let's be in constant communication and just kind of touch base. Like, well, oh, you want $6 million a year? Okay, we know your price and we'll come back. The idea that we haven't reached out is wild. It's just like, so someone picks them up. He's like, oh, I guess we missed out on Justin Simmons. Oh, we missed out on Linval Joseph. We missed out on Zadarius Smith. We just miss out. It's an interesting approach. I imagine that Chris Greer must feel really, really confident in the draft strategy because, we have a lot of picks. And so the idea is that we're going to just every round, what's our biggest need, draft that player, or if you have a couple people you really, really want, and then you're going to bundle picks. And I don't know what his plan is because I'm not in the draft room, right? But I thought it was interesting that we have not reached out to these people. I thought maybe we just couldn't afford them. And maybe we can't. But you don't know you can't afford them unless you reach out to them. So if you don't reach out to them, then you don't even know what the price is. So uh, allegedly the plan is that they're going to go through the draft, see what is still missing, circle back around. But then I feel like at that point, the leverage is kind of gone. Because right now, anyone that we potentially would pick up, they know if they price themselves out, that we can just draft in their position. Right? That's kind of how that works. If we go through the draft, let's say we break on all the safeties, right? We just go super heavy O-line, D-line, cornerback, and we just don't address safety at all. And then we circle back around like, hey, Justin. And he's like, $6 million a year? It's 8. The price is going up because you're desperate. You don't have a safety that you feel good about. Like, I feel like it almost lowers your bargaining by going through the draft first, but also, I'm not a GM. So I'm not going to step on Chris Greer's toes. I assume he knows what he's doing. But that was interesting to me. Listen, I'm completely wrong on this one. I assumed the price point was just wrong. Evidently, no. We didn't call. So what are you going to do? And finally, we're going to play a new game called Moving On Up. This is basically a game of if a player slides lower than they're projected to go, how high would Miami be willing to move up to get them? We're starting with Travis Hunter because we really haven't talked about him on the channel at all because I've assumed he'll be gone in the top 4 or 5 picks, right? But I was going through the draft order, and there's rumblings that New England wants an offensive lineman at 4 and not a secondary guy. Okay, we assume Abdul Carter's going to be gone. We assume Cam Ward's going to be gone. Mason Graham. You start doing the list, you get to that 7, 8, 9 spot. That's the Jets. That is Carolina, and then that's the Saints, right? So the Jets lost DJ in the offseason, so they need a cornerback. But the Jets need a lot of stuff. They need O-line. They may need to get another receiver because they got to replace Devontae being gone. D-line, like the Jets have a lot of things they need to worry about. So the Jets can go in all different directions. Carolina has J.C. Horn and gave him a big contract already. And Carolina needs a lot of help. O-line, D-line, maybe still in the secondary, for sure a receiver. But the Saints at 9, I have been of the belief that the Saints are drafting a quarterback this whole time. I do not believe they're starting the season with Derek Carr. I've said it many times. I don't think they believe in Derek Carr. I don't think Kellen Moore wants to hitch his wagon to Derek Carr. So I believe he wants to draft a quarterback. But drafting Jackson Dart at 9, to me, feels high. But after them, you get San Francisco, Dallas, Miami, and the Bears. Bears have their quarterback. Cowboys have their quarterback. San Fran has their quarterback. Miami. So if the Saints go from 9 to 13, they can still get their quarterback. And they get more picks. And because you move up in the first round, we probably have to give up our 13th pick, maybe a second, maybe a future pick. Like, you might get 2 or 3 picks, trade back, and then still get the quarterback you want, but now at a more reasonable place. Now Miami moves up to 9, and Travis Hunter's on the board. Now, I like Travis Hunter for a lot of reasons. One, we need a cornerback. Surprise! Travis Hunter plays quarterback. Also, we may not have Tyreek on the team past a year from now. So now you need another receiver. Oh, wait. That guy plays both. So now you have your cornerback of now. He gets to learn with Jalen Ramsey, which is awesome. And then in the event that we let Tyreek go or trade him, we don't have to go, oh, we got to find a receiver. No, you don't. You got one on the roster already. And now he can switch and play that side of the ball as well. He won't be a full-time receiver. I don't believe he'll play the 80 plays he was doing in college. But I do believe, especially on certain down and distances, he'd be good. I think what he does as a skill set, tremendous ball skills, quick, twitchy in and out of routes. I think he'd be fantastic. As a cornerback, we already know what he is, right? So would the Dolphins go from 13 to 9 if Travis Hunter fell that far? I think it would be a smart play. He could fill possibly 2 positions and box office, which almost no one else, like as good as Cam Ward is, I don't know if Cam Ward's going to be box office for Tennessee. Like, I don't foresee, like, they might get a couple extra Sunday night games, maybe Monday night game here or there. But Cam's personality is more like this. He's kind of like, I want a ball. I don't want to do all the fanfare kind of stuff. So I can see him being a good player. Just not kind of how Vince Young was. Well, Vince Young, undeniably great in college, really solid in the pros, but Vince Young didn't elevate to the level he should have because that's not really his personality. Cam Ward's not Shador. Cam Ward is, I'm trying to ball. Let me throw the ball, right? Travis Hunter, he's in Miami. Oh my goodness. Commercials, endorsements, he's going to be everywhere. And again, he's great on the field. We need possibly a receiver of the future. We need a cornerback of now. We need someone that's dynamic. I think he checks a lot of boxes that Miami needs. And again, I wouldn't move up into the top 6, but if he's at 9 when the Saints are picking, hello, New Orleans? Yeah, your quarterback's going to be here at 13. How you feel about a 2nd and a 4th to go with that? That sounds good? Let's make it happen. Because now we're cooking with gas. I think that's the best case scenario. Again, I don't believe he will fall that far. I do think the Jets might take him just because their coach is a defensive coordinator. And so he probably wants 2 great corners, and then I can build my defense around it. That's the Rex Ryan model. It makes a lot of sense. But if the Jets decide they want to go O-lineman at that pick, or D-lineman at that pick, or a linebacker, listen, I haven't seen any draft board talk about it. He did very well at the Colorado Pro Day today. We'll see what happens. I'm just saying, if he's around that 7, 8, 9 mark, maybe time to move on up. We'll see. But as always, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. We just crossed 950 subs. We're on the road to 1,000. Let's make that happen before the end of May or end of April. The end of May is crazy. But we appreciate the love and support. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.